What's going on, guys? Nate Winicky here with BD Outdoors, and we are at the docks of the brand new Seaforth Freedom Boat Club Marina. We are next to one of their super nice Defiance 220 Admiral pilot houses. We're going to give you a little walkthrough, show you all the different compartments, what you can see inside, and basically why this is one of the nicest, most complete fishing vessels you can have in SoCal. So first off, I've got a kill bag with me, but I'm gonna be leaving it on the dock because the only thing I'm gonna need a kill bag for is taking the fish off of the boat and into my truck after we come back from the trip. Now I'll show you why I can say that. Stepping inside here, first off, you have a very nice open fishing area in the back here. Bait tank, West Coast style bait tank here in front. I believe it's 30 gallons. So this will hold at least a scoop, if not a scoop and a half of live bait, and it will keep it alive throughout the entire trip. If you've ever been on center consoles before, you'll know that a typical live well doesn't circulate the water quite as well as one of these things do. So when you have a bait tank that's specifically designed for sardines, your chances of catching because your bait doesn't die goes way up. So this is a huge addition. But also, if you check these out, on both sides here, we have integrated fish holds that go all the way up and down, big enough for yellowtail, school-sized tuna, rockfish, lingcod, sea bass, halibut, whatever you might be catching. These have, if you come into the back here, you can see you've got pumps. There are drainage pumps on both sides here, so you can keep ice, you can have a blood slurry in there, everything drains out, so there's no mess that you got to clean up afterwards. So if you are catching fish, I don't recommend you have this big old kill bag on the back here. It takes up all of your space and it kind of ruins the flow of the boat. Rather than that, use these fixed boxes. They're here for a reason. Now, the final thing on this back deck here I just want to talk about a little bit is, first off, these bumper rails are super nice. You have foam lining every single side of the fishing platform here, so you can tuck yourself into the corner, you can bump around without bruising your knees up, because I know that's been an issue, especially when the weather gets a little bit rough. Other thing we have on here, super nice wash down pump. This is going to work throughout your entire trip. You can clean off the deck super easily. And honestly, if you just keep it a wet surface, you're going to have a much easier time cleaning up afterwards. Okay, so moving on to the stern here. First thing I want to mention is this really nice recessed footwells on the bottom here. So if you've ever fished offshore at the islands on a center console boat or a pilot house boat like this, you'll notice that when you're going back and forth, a lot of times your feet are trying to constantly adjust. What this allows you to do is go right up against the rail here, and you can lean forward and backwards with your feet and catch yourself from falling backwards. It's a huge tool, especially when you're offshore fishing, to keep yourself hands-free and really secured into the boat here. Now, stepping back, we have a foam padded swim step. This is great if you wanted to go swimming. If you have a big fish and you need to come over and gaff it, this is large enough to walk back and forth without feeling like you're about to fall off of your boat. Really, really nice addition to these pilot house boats. Now, moving forward a bit here, as you can see, this is obviously a perfect place to sit down, watch the trollers, you know, see what's going on. Easy place when you're traveling outside, but also, if you open this up here, this doubles as a food and drink cooler. You got a drain in the bottom, it's insulated for ice. You can close this down, buckle it up. So this removes the necessity to bring an extra ice box or lunch bag. You can store all of your food and drink in here. So now moving inside the cabin of the boat, you'll see for a 22 footer, this is about as roomy of a cabin as you'll ever find. Check it out. So if you're storing your gear, this is where I recommend putting it, right down here. You have a huge compartment here for all of your dry storage needs. So I put my backpacks, tackle boxes, your camera gear, your towels, whatever it may be. As you can see, you can either put cushions in here for a bed. Right now I'm using it just for storage. So you can put your duffel bags, your backpacks, your whatever. Coming down, we have lots of storage options. You can see this is where we store our life jackets, all of our necessary Coast Guard supplies. Yet another storage compartment. I would be putting my fishing gear in here. Come to the other side, we have a third huge storage locker here. And finally, underneath this seat here, a fourth storage locker. Now, there is no reason to bring any sort of extra tackle boxes or bags and keep them outside where you're going to be fishing when you have all of this in here that you can keep your stuff safely secured and organized in a way that you can quickly find it. The final compartment right in the middle here, you can use this for storage, but honestly, this is mostly where you're going to be controlling your bilge pump. Check this sometimes throughout the trip just to see what the internals of the boat is like, but honestly, this is one you can just probably keep shut the entire time. For a 22 footer, you can seat 1, 2, 3, 4 people very comfortably here in the cabin. Well upholstered chairs, 2 in here for the captain, 2 for some passengers. And this is really a huge feature when you're fishing offshore or up in, say, the Channel Islands or Santa Barbara, because as you well know, it gets cold out there, even in the summertime. So if everybody can be inside, it really maximizes the comfort of the day, and it allows you to have a good time from the time you leave to the time you get back. Now, for those hotter days, I know a lot of times the ventilation in the cabin can be limited. So what Defiance has done is they have put hinges on pretty much every single window in here. You can open this front window, these slide, this slides, and in the back here, one of the nice features of these Defiances is the fully glass door. So when it is really cold and you don't want to be waiting out here for the troll bite, what you can do, you can shut this, and that allows for max visibility without having to stay outside in the elements. Really, really nice feature of these boats. Okay, so pretty standard with all Pilothouse boats, you have 4 integrated rod holders into the gunnels here, 2 in the back, 2 a little bit further forward. You have 14 rocket launchers with these really nice Durabright lights installed onto them. So even if you're leaving early morning or it gets a little bit foggy out there, you have enough brightness to light up the entire deck. So here in the Helm, I just wanted to take a second to go over the Simrad unit here, because as a fisherman, this is going to be one of your most important tools, not only for safety, but also for locating spots and locating schools of fish. So this is going to be your main page here. When you open it up, this is what you're going to see. And the first button I want to show you guys is the chart. Now the chart is going to be based on wherever you may be, and it's going to show you a really nice GPS map of your area. You can zoom in here, it's a touch screen, super nice. We're here in Mission Bay. So as you can see, we're right here in the Seaforth Marina. If we were to leave, one of these track lines is going to appear, and it's going to show you exactly where you went and where you have been throughout your trip, which can be very useful when you're fishing. You can go back in your track line and see exactly where you stopped the boat to get back onto that, say high spot or whatever. Now, moving on from that, you can adjust this throughout your trip. There are some pre-programmed spots, but while you're fishing, you can put in different coordinates to show you exactly where you have been fishing to save for future trips. We'll get there in a second. Now, on the right-hand side here, you have some basic info. You're gonna have your speed, you're gonna have your depth, and you're gonna have your basic steering. If you go up to the top left-hand corner here, you can tap that to get back to the main screen, and then Echo is gonna be where we're going next. As a fisherman, you should know what this is. This is your basic fish finder. This is going to show you from top to bottom what's going on below the boat. So obviously you're going to have your bottom line here. This is going to be your bottom. Everything in between you can see is either going to be bait or fish or structure or something like that. We're not going to go into the details of how to read your graph. There's other videos that will explain that later, but basically this is all that you need for finding fish wherever you may be. This is an extremely, extremely important tool, and the better you are at reading your fish finder, the better days you're going to have. So on the right hand of this screen here, you'll see speed up here at the top, you have depth, you have water temp, you have time. All of that is very important. You can use this time now to go back and go to your tides. Left hand side, you have a couple more buttons here. What I was just talking about is tides, and especially if you're fishing out here, this can be really, really helpful for tracking the movement of the water throughout the day. And as you know, most fish species prefer one part of the tide than the other. So if you have an easy way of keeping track of that, it can really help you throughout the day. Just above that, the tide button is your waypoints. We have no waypoints in this vessel yet, but if you wanted to make a new waypoint, you can name it whatever you want. You can put the coordinates in and you save it right there, 001. You can go to the coordinates right there, and no matter where you are, say you come back 6 months from now, you can save your spots from 6 months ago and go right back to where you were. Moving down the list here, go back to your home by pressing the top left. You have alarms, you have vessels, you have trip intel. Trip intel can be great. If you know that you did really well, you can go back into your history and see exactly how long you were on the water, where you went, where you stopped, and really use that as a reference for planning future trips based on prior success. And finally, if you see here on the right-hand screen, you have these independent buttons, but if you wanted both on the same screen, say you wanted your chart on one side and your fish finder on another, it's that button right here. Now you can see exactly where you are on the GPS, and you can see what's below you. This is the best way to get onto a spot. Say a friend gives you a pair of coordinates and you're like, this is an excellent rock fishing spot, but you got to make sure you're right on top of it. You can put the coordinates into the GPS, get right on top of it, and then confirm that you're on top of it by using the downscan sonar. So that's just a quick tutorial on how to use this Simrad. There's a lot more tips and tricks to come along with that, but really in terms of a fishing tool, this is as good as you're gonna get. Now, just talking a bit more about the Helm here, you have your steering wheel, you have all these buttons under here. You're gonna have waste discharge, bait well, fish box, spreader lights, wash down, bilge pumps, nav lights, horn, and wiper. All of that is controlled right underneath here by the captain. You have your trim tabs right here and your throttle comfortably situated right next to you. You can see your fuel and your trim on this screen here, and of course, a compass for navigation. All right, that pretty much wraps it up. Thank you guys for sticking around. Again, this is the Defiance 22 closed cabin. It's a phenomenal boat for pretty much every style of fishing you can find here in Southern California. Make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment to see more videos like this one, and I'll see you on the water. Thanks.